Wait, so let's break that down for a little bit. Right now, the way that New York City works, New York City, all of the stadiums in New York and New Jersey combined cannot beat Broadway when it comes to sales. Nationally, before the pandemic, $877 billion, 4.5 of the GDP. That was entertainment. Your presence has come in, and one of the things you did with your show is you tried to figure out how to make it more accessible.
Yes.
Was that something that, to you, I feel like, one, was it revolutionary to do that?
I don't know if it's revolutionary so much as it's personal. I know that the first time I saw a Broadway show, I went to TKTS when I was in college, and I sat in literally the back row to see Rent.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I thought I could have spent my money better doing something. I didn't grow up seeing Broadway shows all the time. It's always been something that is very expensive, very costly, and usually disappointing because I've spent the money on a story that I don't care about.
I'm going to let it land. I'm not asking a question yet. I'm going to let it land.
Listen, I'm talking about straight play. Okay, musicals to me are a separate genre. When I go to a musical, I'm going to hear people sing. I'm going to see people dance. I love it, and I don't really care about the story as much to me because the music lands.
Mm-hmm.
But as a dramatist in the American theater, this is my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to Broadway plays as a requirement of my job just to be in touch with the culture. And I would say 80% of the time, I'm like, okay, well, this has nothing to do with me. I'm not fed by this work. So I never felt like I was a part of the Broadway community until I put my work on Broadway.
So now that your work's on Broadway, you're making it more accessible, you're doing all that. You've seen the budgets, because now you're a producer.
Right.
My question is understanding and figuring out how to make this more accessible.
I don't yet have the answer. That is the next long-term goal. I do not yet know how to do it. I've seen the numbers, and the numbers are against us because, it's an expensive medium. And so on one hand, I don't want to underpay anyone. But on the other hand, if you don't want to underpay anyone, that means you got to pay everyone. And to pay everyone, you need money.
Simple and clean. Clean. All right, so we've talked about pay inequity indirectly. We've talked about Passover. We've talked about your personal connection and where this has gone from. What does the future look like for you, for this piece, and for everything around you in that circle?
The future is abundance. The future is joy. The future is gratitude. Right now, I'm stepping back from Passover Broadway once it closes on October 10th. And I'm going to do a little bit of work in Hollywood, fatten my bag a little bit. And I am at work on my next original play.
Work.
Listen. So when I come back to it, I want to come back with a little bit more money so that maybe I can, have a better hand as a producer. Listen, own the means of production. We've got to own it.
I think I told you the story. I was told this story about Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. is sitting there at some press conference or some event, and he's looking at everyone behind the camera, and he's noticing there's no one of color there. And he goes, we got to get behind that. We got to do that. Now that you've been on the other side, it's interesting hearing you say that's where you got to be. How do we get people to comprehend that as they're coming up? Because, we're stuck in next job. You keep it going. You keep your head down. You don't stay in trouble. You don't look up. You don't overtake the person on top of you. You wait till it's your turn. How do you get people to understand that the promised land, that idea of equity and everything that they're looking for, is here? It's literally something that they can do if they just transition over. How do you get people to wake up to that?
I don't know how other people wake up to it, but I do know how I have awakened to it. And that is through my rage.
What does that rage look like? What was the moment
There's no one moment. I think that, like James Baldwin said, to be Black in America is to be enraged all the time. And I think that once we begin to alchemize our rage into fuel, right? In order to write, I need fuel. In order to work, I need fuel. Okay, take the rage and turn it into fuel. That's what I did with Passover. You mean George Zimmerman got off? Justice what? I remember that. You know what I mean? We're sitting there just like, wait. He got off? I'm either going to burn it down or I'm going to write Passover. Okay. I'll write Passover.
Passover. Or burn it down.
Or burn it down.
And what you have learned so far, do you work with what you have or do you burn it down? As in this whole series of events that have taken place, working with Spike, getting it on Amazon, making it to Broadway, changing the ending, allowing this thing to flow like water, using everything of your upbringing, Beckett, everything you've done. Are you standing behind what you've done, or would you be like, you know what? There's some stuff I would do differently, or even further, I would have lit it.
What a delicious question. Today, when I think about my cast, when I think about my company, when I think about my marketing team, when I think about the audiences, I stand behind my decision. And I fully support anyone, any Black person in this country who burns it down. I support it.
Tony?
Yes.
I celebrate you.
Thank you.
I come to opening. I run over to Tony because I look and I see producer. And I don't know if you remember, I ran awkwardly to him, just like, what?
It wasn't awkward. I do remember. It was forceful. It was passionate. It was intentional.
Intentional. I go in, I'm just like, I need to know everything. I'm just asking questions up the wazoo. And Tony was like, I'm ready to play. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's do it. And I appreciated that so much. The first one out the gate. And what I loved about watching your entire journey was the audacity. You came with audacity. Yes. And I think that's what was needed, right? Like, not apologetic, not trying to find your way through. I am here.
Yes.
I am here. What are you going to do about it?
Yes.
What are you going to do? Let's do it. Okay,
yes.
Good. Okay, great. We're going to make mistakes? We're going to make mistakes. But
listen, we've got to do it and we've got to be present. I honestly believe we have to find our own meaning in our suffering. And our meaning is the salvation of all people. I'm sorry, the salvation of all people through Black joy. Like, we got to save the world. We got to save the world.
We got to save the world. We got to save the world. Also got to take care of ourselves. And I'm happy
That's how we save the world. That's how we save the world, by saving ourselves, by taking care of ourselves.
That's it. Y'all, I've been here with Tony. We are here in the final stages of Passover. First show back. First show.
October 10th, we're gone, though. Bye. First show back, first show gone.
We're done. Bye.
Blinky, you miss it, y'all. Bye.
We hit the Passover. We done crossed over.
Listen, it's the rapture. Y'all missed it. Bye. Left behind. Go. Y'all get slave flag. Go. Bye. People are going to show up to the theater like, what?
It's like,
what?